You're joining a ruling party at a time of national hardship because how incredible Mr. President has been a subject of debate, especially when you ask the average Nigerian. How do you reconcile that with your message of common sense politics?
Come on, if you're sick, you go to the doctor, right? You do surgery. You have to recover. Then you get better. Even if you're an athlete, you break your leg. Sometimes you don't play for a whole year. When you come back, you're a better player. Now, if you say the economy was such a horrible state and we just got through surgery and now we're waiting for recovery, it'd be ridiculous to think that after the catastrophe of the previous 8 years, anybody could fix the economy in 5 minutes. It's not going to happen. It's going to take a while. And I think the problem is we need to explain this to the Nigerian public. This has to be explained. I don't think it has been explained enough. And that is really what the folks in information ought to do, to explain that this hardship is going to come to an end. It always comes to an end.
A lot of explaining has been done, really, because this narrative isn't strange. But the reality is that many Nigerians are hurting under the same reforms that you're praising the president for. Full subsidy removal, forex unification, rising inflation. From your vantage point, I think the big question is how soon before these pains translate into real progress, and whether or not you're confident that this administration can sustain that reform and that momentum beyond politics. Because as we speak right now, it's all eyes on 2027, and they've done more than 2 years.
Well, I think the policies are irreversible. I think great progress will be made in the next 2 years. And I think in 8 years, Nigeria will be fixed completely. It's just going to take time. There's no other way. It's going to take some time.
Are you saying that 4 years is not enough to fix our problem, at least the economic problem, in such a way that the average Nigerian can feel it?
Well, first of all, you got to get the economic indicators in the right direction. And they're in the right direction. Inflation is coming down. Your currency is stable. So you can predict what you spend and how you import or export, because without stability, and then you have to create a destination for foreign investors, and you have to create security. Look, he's made the right appointments, but there's no way you can transform a nation of 250 million people with the chaos he inherited and turn it around in 2 years. It is impossible. But if you try, you may succeed. If you don't try, you will never succeed. That is my philosophy. That is his philosophy. And I truly believe we are on the right track. Foreign investors will come in. Take the National Security Advisor. It was chaos with Boko Haram. Now there's a sense of containment. The National Security Advisor has done a great job with containment. The military has done a great job there. It'll take a while. The incidents of kidnapping and all that kind of stuff that was so pervasive in the past has slowed down significantly. Inflation has come down significantly. The currency is stable. You heard it before. You're hearing it from me. I'm telling you, this administration is on the right track. Infrastructural development is moving fast. For instance, the Calabar Coastal Road. That'll take a while. So in building that road, there'll be some traffic jam. But once the road is complete, you can go to Calabar in 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. Then there's going to be a rail system. Then the road from Maiduguri. So these are things that take time. I'm supporting him, one, because he made a promise to me. He's kept his promise. I've known him for a long time. He did a great job as governor of Lagos State, turned into the 5th largest economy in Africa. That is no coincidence. Now he's doing the same for Nigeria. I believe in what he does. I believe in what he says. And I'm supremely confident that we will overcome these difficulties we are faced with. And
all right, I hear you clearly. And Mr. President also ran on the mantra of renewed hope. It's just that it gets to a point where you have to be able to convince Nigerians who are saying they haven't seen that body language even from government itself to cut costs, and then to also live the kind of life that they are living right now, to show that they understand. But let's talk about you for a minute, because some see this move as a political comeback strategy and not conviction. What do you say to those who believe Ben Moriburu simply went where the power is?
It's never been like that. I got a reputation. I've never done that in my life. So why am I going to do that now? I'm 69. Why am I going to? People say they're going to the center. Center to do what? If you're a local government chairman, what's the difference between why don't you run your budget as local government chairman, a governor, or a senator, or make laws? People say that all the time. I have no time to respond to silly people like that. I am who I am. When I decided to move to the APC, I told no one. I didn't consult anybody. That's why it never leaked.
But if it's about if it's about reform and vision, couldn't you have championed the same ideals from within the PDP, especially as one of its most articulate voices?
First of all, you need political power to make those reforms. When I was in opposition against Buhari, I raised all these issues. I refused to approve any loan Buhari took as president. I voted against every single time they asked us to give him money because I knew the government at the time did not have the capacity to use the money judiciously or do it in such a way that they could service the debt. They didn't have the capacity. So why would I vote for any government that didn't have the capacity to do that? If I was a senator today and they brought a loan request from Mr. President, I would approve it. I would vote for it because he has the capacity, because he's a smart businessman. You need a businessman to run an economy. Look at Nigeria as a company. Look at Nigeria as the Fortune 500 company. The quality you need to run a country like Nigeria is the same quality you need to run Boeing or Airbus or any big or Tesla and all these big companies. If you are not qualified as an individual to run a Fortune 500 company that makes $500 billion a year, $750 billion a year, you're not qualified to run Nigeria. You have to understand. So is Bola Tinubu qualified to run a Fortune 500 company? Yes. Is he qualified to run a complex economy like Nigeria? Yes. And if he can run a Fortune 500 company, then he can run Nigeria. If he can run Lagos, he can run Nigeria. Many people have run Lagos, but very few people have done it the way he did. I have faith in him. I support him. And I make the distinction. I support President Bola Tinubu. Him. Now, there's some people I don't support, but him, I support.
It sounds like if President Tinubu leaves the APC today, you are going to leave as well.
Well, I'm going to have a conversation with him. Hopefully he doesn't leave. So if we leave together because he's a genius.
We'll come back to talk about political ideology and what this means for politicians like you. Stay with us, everyone. Don't go away.